Hey guys, welcome to Farm Charm Chic. I'm Emily. I am so excited to share with you our Christmas Eve tradition today. Do you have a tradition of doing matching pajamas? A few years ago, I started to notice that my kids, my husband, myself, we didn't wear our matching pajamas beyond Christmas. We would wear them, for the pictures and all that fun stuff. But then when we lounge around, that's not what we wore. They just sat in our closet until we got a new pair the next year and it was time to donate the old ones. What's something that we actually would use? If I'm going to be investing or spending money in this, I want it to be something that my kids and my husband, myself, that will actually wear. So I started to think, I want to do something that's fun, that gets my kids excited about this tradition again. And I noticed that we always wore pajama bottoms, like we always had those flannel pajama pants or fleece pajama pants. So I decided that's something that I would buy that I think we would all wear. And one thing my family loves to do is we love to watch Christmas movies. Maybe your family's the same way. November 1st, we start playing them. We have a list that's got so many different movies on it. I came up with this idea to make t-shirts in the theme of the Christmas movie to go with their pajama bottoms. We've had so much fun with this tradition. So I'm going to take you along this process today to show you how I make these shirts. And if you watch Christmas movies and you have some people that maybe grumble when you mention matching pajamas, hopefully this will be a solution for you. I do want to thank Vevor for sending me a t-shirt press that I'm going to showcase today as I make these and tell you my thoughts on that. Let's go try out my Vevor press and make some shirts. So I'm just going to open up the Vevor heat press here. And you guys, this box is extremely heavy. So if you order one of these, make sure you have some help carrying this because it is so sturdy and so well made, but it is cast iron. It's very heavy, but you know that it's going to be very good quality and last for a very long time. Now, this particular press that I got came with several attachments that you can do tumblers, you can do mugs, you can do hats, you can do plates, as well as t-shirts or anything else that you can do with fabric with just a normal t-shirt press. So I'm just unpacking everything here, and when I lift this layer of styrofoam out, this is where the actual press is, and you can see everything laid out here. I am so excited to get started and start using this. So let's do some shirts. So this is just a t-shirt from Old Navy. It's just one of their $8 shirts, just plain one I just was showing you there from Old Navy. It looks like when I pull up the fabric content here, this is going to be a 60-40 for polyester and cotton split there. And I'm going to do sublimation. And typically 100% polyester on white is the best sublimation. However, I have found that this little bit of an oatmeal color of shirt, this heathered shirt from Old Navy, works really well to do sublimation on. It does have about 40% polyester content in it, so it will still pick that up. Your design may fade a little bit when you wash it a couple of times. I kind of like that retro, vintage look though. So this is the best t-shirt that I like, but definitely whatever you're used to sublimating on, use that. Do some research. I have some other videos for sublimation. If you would like me to place that down in the description box, I will, so you can get some more information on sublimation. You are going to do what works for you when it comes to this press. So I have a sublimation printer, so I was able to print out these designs. I'm putting a layer of copy paper underneath, and I have this sign that says Merry Christmas. The movie that we chose to do this year as a family was National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. We love this movie. Are you guys big fans of that movie? So I'm just showing you here that I fold the design in half. I make sure that my design is centered, and I have pressed my t-shirt in half to leave a crease there. So I know I just have to match up the crease mark so I get the design centered. Now you can measure, you can do it however you would like. This method is what works for me. And I'm just placing some paper down over to protect the press. Now I technically should have taped my design down, but I forgot to on this particular one, but it ends up okay. And I do about 3 finger lengths down from the neckline is how far down I will go with my design. I just pull that press down, it locks in place. You hit your button to start the timer and it lets you know when it's done. And then you just peel that off. And look at how beautiful that design is. I love it. It is so cute. This is for my daughter. She actually requested that she get something to do with Cousin Eddie from National Lampoon. So I hope she's happy with this one. But sublimation prints actually on the shirt. So it's not going to, it may fade a little bit when you wash it unless you're doing it on 100% polyester, but it's not going to crack or anything like that, like a vinyl would or anything. So that's what is nice about sublimation. Now, if you don't have a sublimation printer, don't worry. There's several different methods you can do. So here I'm just showing you how I tape that design down. This is just a heat tape that I have, the heat resistant tape. I'll link everything down in the description box. As far as the tape that I use, I will link the designs that I used if I have the links for those. I will also leave a link for the press and its accessories down in my description box as well. Now, if you don't have a sublimation printer, as I was mentioning, you can use a cutting machine to cut heat transfer vinyl. If you don't have a cutting machine, that's totally fine. If you have an inkjet printer, you can get printable vinyl transfer that you can print a design on. So you would just purchase the design from Etsy, for instance, and print it on your normal printer using that paper, and then you would just cut out the design with your scissors, and you would press that onto your shirt. This one is so cute. I love this Christmas tree farm. Little full lot of sap. You guys, I love the quotes and everything from Christmas Vacation. We quote them all the time. And there's so many fun one-liners from that movie that you've probably heard them without maybe not even realizing that that's what they're from. But here's how I fold the t-shirt in half. I'm just showing this is my sun shirt that I'm making here. And then I will use the press to press this down. First, I'm going to lint roll it. His is white because in the little boy shirts, they do not make that oatmeal color. So he and my husband will end up with white shirts, but just so they kind of match and coordinate. But you can see I'm just going to use my lint roller to lint roll that off. And then I will press that press down to get that crease in the middle, so I know exactly where the center of the shirt is. All right, now back to talking about different methods of printing on shirts. So we've talked about sublimation, we've talked about using a Cricut, using the vinyl transfer, and an inkjet printer to print on iron-on. But there is also, if you don't have access to any of those and you still want to be able to do this, or you want to be able to open up a t-shirt store or something, there are already made transfers out there. In fact, down in my description box, I will link one of the more recent stores that I have found that sells the already made transfers that you buy. It's not sublimation, it's a DTF transfer is what they call it. And they range from like $4 on up, depending on how many or the different size you get. And they're wonderful to work with, and they work so well, and you're not confined to a specific fabric type. There's also a few DTF hacks out there going around, and I have yet to try any of those. I'm very excited with this press to do that. If you've tried those and you've had success with those, I would love you to give me more information or let me know about it, because that is something that I am interested in trying. So now I'm just taping this design on my sun shirt down here, making sure that all edges are taped. I like to do this when I'm doing sublimation. As you saw with my daughter's shirt, I forgot to do that and it still worked out okay. But what happens is you just want to make sure that that design is not going to float anywhere or cause any ghosting. Now, the one wonderful thing about using a press like this specific Vevor press is you lessen your chance of having that ghosting happen, because it comes down on one swift motion. You can see there the press, and when you lift it up, it comes up very, very fast. Whereas if you're using like an iron really doesn't get hot enough to do sublimation. But if you're using like a easy press or something like that, sometimes you have to do it in two different areas, or you'll set it down and it will slide a little bit, causing the design to ghost. And then you just make sure that these cool down, because you don't want to burn yourself. They are hot. When you're doing sublimation, you're working in temperatures close to 400 degrees. So you definitely want to make sure that cools down a little bit before you peel off the tape. I am the most impatient person, so I am literally like trying not to burn my fingers as I'm peeling this off, because I just want to make sure that it works and everything looks okay. But you guys, I love how this turns out. This was just a design that I bought on Etsy, and I think it just turns out so cute. I love this picture here. I mean, this is just classic Christmas Vacation to me. And my kids honestly love this tradition. They talk about it with their friends all the time. They'll sit and talk about, I let them help choose the movie that we do every year. So that way, and I'm just showing you here that like when you stretch this, like that is in the fabric. So it's very soft feeling. It's like printed on the shirt. But my kids, we pick the movie and we'll watch it a couple of times. We'll watch it, of course, Christmas Eve after we open up our fun pajama shirts. But they try to guess which characters I've picked out for them. They'll tell me if they like certain things from the movie or something, and I'll let them choose a different character or a different scene or something, and I'll kind of go with that. Now, this machine is so easy to set the temperature. You just hit your setting button there, and it will tell you that you get to set your temperature or you get to set your time, and you just set it to what you need. You do want to make sure you're reading your instructions, whether you're using sublimation ink and paper, whether you're using heat vinyl transfer. Now, the shirts I'm going to make right now are actually from the movie Home Alone. I was explaining this to one of my good friends, our tradition, and she fell in love with the idea and wanted me to help her make some shirts for her kids because they are obsessed with the movie Home Alone. And so I'm doing the exact same process here as I did with Sublimation, but I'm just going to use heat vinyl transfer for hers. So she found these fun designs on Etsy and brought them over to me, and we just cut them out really quick. This is just the heat vinyl transfer, and then I'm just doing the same tricks that I did with the Sublimation. So I pressed the shirt in half to find my midpoint, and then I also bent the Sublimation, not the Sublimation, you guys, the Cricut transfer, the carrier sheet, I bent it in half of the design a little bit at the top so I could match my creases up so it would be centered. And then you just press it with the heat vinyl transfer like this. It's only about 20 seconds that you're doing it for. It's fairly quick. And then it's just a warm peel. So I am just shaking this a little bit to get a little air in there to cool it down. And then it just peels right off. And this vinyl is very soft on here. It's not plasticky at all. It feels very nice. It's going to wash very nice and be so fun for her. But I love sharing traditions and passing them on. I was so excited that she wanted to try this. And so that's what made me have the idea to think of, I'm going to show you guys this press and I'm going to tell you guys this tradition because it is so fun and we've had a lot of fun with it. The one thing you want to make sure that you do when you are doing the heat vinyl transfer is after you press your design, you want to flip your garment inside out and you're going to press the back side of it for about 15 seconds just to help seal everything. That is per Cricut's instruction and the heat vinyl transfer instructions. So make sure that you do that because it helps adhere everything a little bit better so it will wash up nice. If I have done this particular step, I've never had a problem with my vinyl. If I for some reason skip that step, more often than not, I do have a little bit of an issue with it. So it is a very important step here. Now, this press has been phenomenal. I highly recommend it if you're thinking of starting a business in any way, or you have a lot of shirts that you're wanting to make, or it's just a hobby of yours, or you maybe already have a t-shirt business that you're using, but you're using a traditional iron or an easy press or something like that, and you're ready to make the next step. I highly recommend this because it made such slick and easy work of this, and you can definitely tell that the quality is there. Like I mentioned earlier, this is such a sturdy machine and you can really feel the quality in it. And I didn't feel like I had a problem with, I've heard some people mention that with their presses, the temperature's not quite right, or the temperature will rise and fall and it will not stay consistent, but I never had an issue with this press doing that. So, and I love the 360 swing. That arm will swing all the way around if you need it to. So you do want to make sure where you place your press that you do have room for that arm to swing all the way around, so that way you're not going to like hit it into your wall or anything. I just thought this was such a cute quote from Home Alone. I just love this, and I'm so excited to give these to my friend. So what do you think of the t-shirts? Is this a tradition you think that you would give a try to? It's so fun, and honestly, my kids absolutely love it. It's something they talk about all the time. And as you can see, even some of my friends have started picking up this tradition. If you decided to do this tradition, I would love to know what movie you would pick first to do with your family. So let me know down in the comments. So just to show you one of the other attachments that came with this press, it came with a tumbler and mug press, and it has several different sizes, but I'm just going to do some sublimation here. And this is just a design that I printed off Canva on my Sublimation printer, and just using some heat tape, I'm just taping this all the way around the mug. I just wanted to show you how easy this attachment worked and everything, and honestly, I was so impressed with this. So when you're doing a mug, you just want to make sure that all of the areas are taped down really well because you do not want any ghosting or any fading whatsoever. So as I was taping this up, the press was heating up to the temperature that it needs to be. And you do have to do it for like 3 minutes on here, or 180 seconds. And so you just put that in and you clamp that mug down. You run it for the time that it is. And that handle is going to be cool to the touch, but the mug itself is very hot. So please be very careful not to burn yourself. And I just peel off that design. And look at how absolutely vibrant that is. I just love this. And you can put this through the dishwasher. You can hand wash it. You can have your drink every day out of it. And it is not going to fade at all. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Be sure to have a very Merry Christmas. And as always, happy crafting.